Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for round 2 Dearly Departed review. Apologies, this is coming on a Tuesday. Look, it was my birthday yesterday, so why the hell not? And also, the Premier League round of fixtures didn't end until last night with West Ham playing Leicester. But of course, I do appreciate that all the Dearly Departed played on Saturday. So we're a couple of days removed from this weekend's games. But I will still give you my thoughts on our Dearly Departed teams. There they are: Leeds, Villa, Norwich, Watford and Brentford. The clever bunch that have managed, on my watch, covering the Championship to get themselves out and up into the Premier League. We're going to look at each of their games. As ever with the Dearly Departed in the Premier League, it's a mixed bag. It always is. One day, all 5 of them are going to win on the same round. Maybe. Before we go any further, let's say a big thanks to Coyle, who is our fan sponsor. Dearly Departed, also known as Ben Couldn't Bear to Lose Us. Thank you very, very much. Jay, who is involved over on Patreon and sponsors our series of shows this season. Few people asking, we were doing a preview and a review last season, obviously with matters here being as they are with the new child. We are 1 show per week on the Dearly Departed. Apologies if you were expecting 2. We have said a few times, just the 1 show. Shall we get into the action? And first of all, we've got to talk about Brentford. We always go from highest to lowest in terms of our Premier League teams here on the Dearly Departed, and it is Brentford who are leading the way at the moment. That may well change. Brentford fans will, I'm sure, take finishing highest of those 5 teams. Hey, finishing highest of any 5 teams for a newly promoted team you'd take, because it guarantees the avoidance of relegation. Brentford off Crystal Palace this week. There is your Brentford team. Raya in goal. Asia, Janssen and Pinnock, Canos and Henry, Onyeka, Norgard and Yanel, Tony and Mbuemo. I think that sounds like an unchanged side for Brentford from that, I'm going to say fairy tale, a bit patronising, but excellent opening day win against Arsenal. Here they go, away to Crystal Palace. And we've found this a bit of a graveyard for Dearly Departed teams. Whilst Roy Hodgson was there, it was always very hard to play against and sort of difficult to score past, weren't they? But we're under Patrick Vieira's watch now at Crystal Palace. There is his side. To be honest, it looks fairly similar, doesn't it, to last season? Gaeta in goal, Ward, Anderson and Gray. That's a big difference, the 2 centre-halves in there. Mitchell, MacArthur, Koyate, Gallagher, Zaha, Benteke and Schlupp. Certainly Gray and Gallagher have been players we've kept an eye on in the Championship. 0-0 in this one. And I think if you gave Brentford fans 4 points from the first 2 games, come on, 4 points from any 2 games this season, and that 2 points per game at any point really will work for you if, as we're possibly expecting, Brentford are down in that final quartile of the division. They're not there just yet, and sort of long may it continue with 4 points from the first 2. Very, very decent chance for Conor Gallagher in the first half. I mean, give Raya in goal some plaudits there. He's ready to spring. He's narrowing the angle. Gallagher tries to go high, hits the crossbar, bounces down and out. Unlucky Palace, but maybe a little bit less of a good chance. But that is Brian Mbuemo, who's curled that one in. And look, it's just bouncing on the top of the bar. Is Gaeta beaten? I don't know. There's hitting the bar and hitting the bar, isn't there? And this one sort of bounces off the top from the free kick. There are the numbers, and they actually look all right in some respects for Brentford, don't they? Less possession, fine, is what you do with it. 14 shots to 7 looks good. Only 3 to 2 on target. 5 corners to 3. However, the big chance metric there, and I assume Gallagher's would have been the big chance. So I can see a couple of Yeah, it is. I can see it. Sorry, it's in blue, isn't it? Not red. Yeah, so Gallagher's was the big chance and they did not take it. So, looking purely at numbers, Brentford, I think will be pretty happy with that. Obviously, not creating any big chances is an issue, but I think we're just going to play the context that we've got at the moment, which is Brentford have started with 4 points. They've got the clean sheet again as well. So I think they'll take this result and a 0-0 over at Palace. And look, we'll have a look at the league table at the end of the show. But the good start continues for Brentford. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Palace 0, Brentford 0. Okay, up next is Aston Villa. Remember, they are recovering from that opening day defeat and all of these changes. It's kind of pre and post Grealish now, isn't it, the way we refer to Villa? But they did get themselves a win over Newcastle United this weekend. Villa coming out 2-0 winners. And I suspect they'll be very pleased to keep a clean sheet, get a win. All of those things that we didn't like on the opening day, perhaps rectified a little. There is the team. Martinez in goal. Cash, Konza, Mings, Young. No target. Ramsey, Louise, McGinn. And perhaps we questioned Buendia as an actual number 10. I know he wears number 10 on his back. But off the right-hand side, maybe better. Certainly was brilliant at Norwich there. Buendia, right. El Ghazi, left. And Danny Ings up top for Aston Villa. For Newcastle, Woodman continues in goal. For how long for, we'll find out. I know Bournemouth fans are keeping an eye on that. Shah, Lascelles, Fernandez, Richie, Murphy, Willock, Hayden, Almiron, St. Maximin, and Wilson. Newcastle handily beaten on opening day, 4-2 at home to West Ham. And Villa sort of seize the moment here and get the win. I just wanted to pop that one up because this is at 0-0 and it's Callum Wilson. And Newcastle obviously set up to try and keep it tight and service Wilson and St. Maximin up top. Huge chance, and I mean, look, Martinez is out there to close, but Wilson should be scoring that. Puts it wide, and then with a much harder chance. What a goal this is! Probably a shoe-in for our goal of the day. Is it from Danny Ings? Brilliant technique, long throw. It comes in from Matt Cash in the season of the long throw. And look at that for a finish by Danny Ings. Sort of, I don't know what you call that. Scissor, backwards, volley, whatever. And look at the power he generates on it from that type of shot as well. Zooms past Woodman into the net. Ings scores goals, doesn't he? Starts for Villa with 2 goals in the first 2. Yes, penalty in the first game, but 2 goals in the first 2. And that, an absolute beaut from Ings to give Villa the lead. Into the second half, and we needed to have a look at VAR and the ref to go over to the screen for this one. I believe that's Lascelles, isn't it? Mings makes the header. We've had some tweaks to the handball laws, haven't we? Particularly pertaining to if you score a goal straight after it. What hasn't changed is deliberate or not deliberate. Arm in unnatural position is the override, seemingly, isn't it? And look, the leg's up, but the arm is out from Lascelles there. And the ball. Have they tweaked the rules on if the ball's going in the goal? I don't know whether they have. Anyway, it's a penalty. Arm in unnatural position. Handball. And Danny Ings does not take this one because Anwar El Ghazi does. And he had a pretty good penalty record last season. Remember him? A very, very late penalty at Wolves under pressure. And he stuck that one in. And he sticks this one in as well. Woodman going the wrong way. And he puts it in the left-hand corner. And it's a workaday 2-0 home win, clean sheet. Nice and simple, bish bash bosh for you Villa fans there. One big chance apiece. Obviously, penalty is big chance, isn't it? Otherwise, it's actually quite tight, isn't it? Look, Newcastle 53-47 on the possession. 2 shots to 1 on target. 4 corners to 3 for Newcastle. And I didn't show you the other incident of Newcastle very nearly getting a penalty, just slightly offside on a VAR then. What I'm saying is, I don't know whether Villa fans are going to be commenting saying, all is well, Ben. It's a really viable win. I think they're going to be saying, look, it's a tight win against the Newcastle side that probably was one that was perhaps a little bit there for the taking after the first round of fixtures, and much still to work on, I think, for Villa. Post Grealish, Watkins isn't quite in there yet. They're going to try and bed Buendia in, Leon Bailey as well. So I don't think the Villa side and this performance you see this week is what ultimately they'll be working for, which I suppose is quite good news because they're getting the win anyway. Let me know what you think. Aston Villa 2, Newcastle United 0. Next up is Watford, who are just edging out Leeds and Norwich on the basis of that first round win. Well, Leeds in particular, Norwich less so. Watford still have 3 points, but they went under at Brighton, losing 2-0 in this round. Brighton actually have won both of their games, so they've started very, very well. They're 4th in the table. Brighton, we'll look at the table at the end. Here's your Watford team. Backman, Cathcart, Ekong, Cavasele, Messina, Etebo, Luza, Cleverly, Sar, Sema, and Emmanuel Dennis. For Brighton, Sanchez in goal, Webster, Duffy, Dunk, March, McAllister, Basuma, Lallana, Gross, Trossard, and Mopai. And a bit of a come down this one after the win last week for Watford. Obviously, come back into the division. 3-0 up at home in the first game against Villa. But very, very different this round because we're not talking about them being 3-0 up quite quickly. We're talking about them being 1-0 down after 10 minutes. And we talked about this as it pertained to Norwich last week. And if we do see our newly promoted teams losing, you want them to be making it hard for their opponents to score. And it's just annoying because it's a set play. And look, I do understand it's a great jump by Shane Duffy and he bullets the header right into the top corner. So I do accept any comment from any Watford fan that says, yeah, fine, Ben, it is a header from a set play, but look, straight into the top corner. Yes, but it's still a set play, isn't it? And you would think Watford would be looking, look, come on, competitive on set plays, all those sort of tangible things that you can marshal to do so. And it's just a bit frustrating if we're dearly departed hats on and we're behind Watford. You don't want them to be going down after 10 minutes to a set play for sure. And then erroneous in the build-up here. And it's kind of done then, isn't it? 41 minutes, 5 before half-time, and Basuma slides in Neil Mopai. Good finish by Mopai. You can see he's being blocked off for the far corner. He gives the keeper the eyes and sticks it in the other direction on the run. But look, it's a big chance. And Watford then, they're going in 2 down at half-time. And you think, what have Brighton had to do to get into this lead? And frankly, they're going to stay in that lead as well, aren't they? And Watford end up losing this one 2-0. There are the numbers, and look, I'm going to be very Watford-centric because it's dearly departed here. 1 shot on target, 0 big chances as well. 0.47 on the XG. So that's a worrying one. And look, I'm not hitting the panic button here at all because look, promoted teams, there are games where you just turn up and it is what it is, you lose. You know, you don't create many chances, the opponents score. But what we want to see from our dearly departed teams is a bit more of a glove than Watford have put on Brighton. There, honestly, as much as it's frustrating as a fan, you'd rather be, there's a few chances missed and I don't know, Brighton scored a couple of really good goals or whatever, but it's not the case, isn't it? If you look at Brighton's numbers, only 3 shots on target. Okay, they forced 7 corners, but 3 big chances as well forced. I think, was it McAllister stuck one, it was Connolly, I think, over in the second half that could have then gone 3-0. And I don't want to see too many games like that for Watford. I don't want to contradict what I said, because I just said a minute ago, there will be games where, look, it's done and move on to the next one, and you lose games. You do in the Premier League. Let's be fair about this. Our newly promoted teams, they'll lose plenty of games between them this season, but that one felt like a bit of a damp squib for Watford, and I hope, because remember their home form was so incredible last season, I hope that the away games aren't a bit of a write-off this season and not been a good start. Let me know if I'm overreacting a little bit and your thoughts on that one. But yeah, I'm not feeling great about Brighton 2, Watford 0. Get in the comments. Okay, on we go to Leeds. Leeds fans will have been very used to last season being first on the running order most weeks, or switching around with Aston Villa. Down there in third at the moment, Leeds. Come on, guys. Come on, get yourself going. And I think Leeds are in the process of getting themselves going. Obviously, a bit of a chase into Manchester United and Pogba and Fernandes on the first day. But back in, scoring some goals and a point on the board in this one. It's a start. It's I don't say excessively high bar set by Bielsa. It's a high bar set by Bielsa, and we expect points, we expect wins, we expect goals. That's the bed that Leeds lie in now with Bielsa, and it's a nice bed to lay in, isn't it? Here is your Leeds team against Everton, and it's a 2-2 draw this time around. Meslier in goal. Again, SofaScore have gone for the 3-3-3-1, their configuration. Let's not get bogged down in Bielsa shapes, but let's just go with what SofaScore has said. So Ailing, Strauch, Cooper, Firpo, first start for him. Phillips returns as well. Great news. Dallas, Rafinha right, Harrison left, Click, and Pat Bamford up top. For Everton, Pickford in goal. Coleman, Minya, Keane, Digne, Iwobi, Doucouré, Allen and Gray, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up top. And he's going to be causing trouble for Leeds in the first half, and for Liam Cooper, who, it's a bit incriminating, the steal. I know steals are always incriminating, but you can see Calvert-Lewin's just got goal side of him, and Cooper's got an arm round one side and a handful of shirt, and yeah, I think they went over and checked the VAR on that one, and it's probably a fair call there from Cooper. And I invite our Leeds friends to continue the discussion we had about the Leeds centre-halves. There was a fair different few opinions, which is always great, on what ultimately the centre-halves are going to be. There's Cooper, there's Strauch, but there's Llorente, and there's Koch as well. I don't know what the configuration is going to end up being. Cooper could do without conceding penalties for pulling, couldn't he, to help his cause. This is annoying as well for Ilian Meslier, because this is a really good penalty, and if it's not a really good penalty, he saves that one, doesn't he? Because he's gone the right way. You can see it's a decent dive by Meslier. He's a tall guy, takes up a lot of the goal, but you've got to give Calvert-Lewin his props. Sticks it right in the corner with good power, and even probably the same line and a bit less power. And I think Meslier is probably going to save that. So well played, Calvert-Lewin. Leeds 0, Everton 1. Doesn't stay that way for long at all, really. And Pat Bamford getting back to where he was last season pretty much straight away with his goal contribution here. He's driving through in the inside right position, and he just lays it on a plate, really, for Matt Click just before half-time, 41 in fact. I thought Click might have got a bit lucky here, actually, but it's not. It's a really good finish. He takes a touch, and his body shape looks like he's just had a swinger at that, but gives the keeper the eyes and goes in the other way. Doesn't quite have as much time as Mopai did, which I said the same thing about. And it's 1-1, and Leeds, whether they win, lose or draw, they score goals and they make chances, don't they? So that is good news. And Click off the mark. We're still waiting for Pat Bamford, who's got, speaking of high bars, got a lot of goals to score to catch up to where he was last season. But remember, he has many other jobs in this system, and getting that assist will be very pleasing for Leeds fans there. 1-1. But into the second half, and on 50. They're going to equalise on 72. Read my notes wrong. On 50, Damari Gray, he puts them back in the lead, and it looks preventable from there, doesn't it? He's out on the angle. He hits the shot early, and you think one or two things has to happen here for that to end up in the net. Either it has to be a really good shot, or it's got to go through someone's legs, and I think there's an element of both. I think it's a good finish by Gray, but who is it in the block? Is it Dallas there? 15, trying to get in the way, and often once it's gone through the first player, it's a struggle for the keeper. So let me know what you think there. Is it good finish? Is it catching the keeper out early, or possibly shades of grey here and a bit of both? But 2-1 Everton. Leeds do get the equaliser. And you tell me, Leeds fans, has there been a more un-Leeds goal than this one? Because it's quite direct, isn't it? The ball goes in from left to right. And it's a second ball. It's a really good bit of quality from Rafinha. We saw Salah do a similar finish. Maybe Rafinha goes for a little bit more power, but just gets it lined up and drills that round. You can see with any amount of power and accuracy, Pickford is not getting that, and it's a real bit of quality from Rafinha, who drives it and curves it in into that far corner for 2-2. There are your numbers. Look at that for an open game. 17 shots apiece. Leeds fans won't like two numbers there. 8 shots on target to 4 in Everton's favour. 2 big chances to 1. And the XG number, which is a bit of a rarity for Leeds, isn't it? They normally dominate those numbers. They've dominated the possession there, 70% to 30%. But I suppose it's Rafa, isn't it? So I suspect, and they'll tell me in the comments, that Leeds fans will be thinking, oh, well, okay, really bad result on the first day of the season. Take the scoreline, take the fact that 2 goals have gone in, take the point, but it's not Leeds going yet, is it? Because we're used to the possession number, the chance creation number being higher than the opponent's, and in the end we know that type of behaviour in games over long periods means wins and points on the table, doesn't it? So Leeds not quite going yet. Let me know what you think in the comments there, Leeds fans, and how this is now going to shake out over the next few games. Leeds 2, Everton 2. Okay, there's no way of sugarcoating this, so we'll just say it. Manchester City 5, Norwich 0. Norwich going under heavily over at Man City. But there's facts and there's context. And I think with our dearly departed hat on here, we can, without me being a Norwich dearly departed apologist here, we can talk about the context, and the first 2 games is not all doom and gloom for Norwich, although I accept Norwich fans, there's not much evidence of positivity in the first games, but that doesn't mean it's not going to come, does it? We can't judge everything on shipping 8 goals and scoring 0 against the last 2 champions, Liverpool and Man City. We'll talk about the context at the end, but it feels like we're addressing 3 different types of people. Optimistic Norwich fans, negative Norwich fans, and onlookers. And let's be fair, onlookers generally in the football space like to look and poke fun. And it's very easy to poke fun at a team that's shipped 8 goals in the first games and got 0 points. But we're going to be a little bit more balanced than that, we hope, here. Let's read through the Man City team first because of the obvious quality and the haves and have-nots conversation here. Edison, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Cancelo, Gundogan, Rodri, Silva, Jesus, Torres, Grealish. Absolute quality lineup for Man City. Norwich going again, with the 4-3-3. One thing you will say about Daniel Farke is he really sticks with a team and a strategy and gives it time, doesn't he? Krul In goal, Aaron's Giannoulis are the fullbacks. Hanley and Gibson. Centre-backs, Lismelu, Gilmore and Rupp. In midfield with Cantwell, Pookie and Rasica up top. And look, it's just a bit of a pasting, let's just say. And I probably want to talk more in terms of Norwich about the context than the actual game, because the game's fairly simple. They got hammered away at Man City. Tim Krul, this is an annoying one, isn't it? Because I think Hanley there has tried to block it out. You can see, is that Gundogan arriving in the picture there and banged it straight against Tim Krul. But the worry is obviously, we've seen plenty of Man City games over the last few years under Pep Guardiola where they're just constantly attacking, particularly from that right-hand side, very around the back and narrow, and there's loads of it. You don't want to be seeing that picture very often with the 6-yard box loaded and the ball going across it from the byline from not very far across. Unfortunately, off Hanley, off Krul, into the goal. There was actually another goal that then gets disallowed for a foul in the build-up. But, again, it's that right-hand side, isn't it? Very high up. People arriving into the box. It's the Pep template, isn't it? Good teams score tap-ins. Norwich know about that from when they play in the Championship, because they're normally the ones scoring the tap-ins, playing through teams. But Grealish on the back post just bounces off him and into the goal. 100 million quid goal there, Jack. I'm sure we'll get a few more spectacular ones than that, but good for him to get off the mark. I'm sure Villa fans will be interested in watching that, and, well, Norwich fans won't be too pleased to see it bouncing in off him. Fair enough. This one I am going to criticise, and this will bother Norwich fans, because fair enough if you get overrun by Man City, but this is a rubbish goal, isn't it? The corner goes in, and I think it's Lismelu, or is it Rasica, is it, and Gilmore there, and their corner bounces down and they stick it in the net. Fair enough, that doesn't make much difference in a game where Man City have had a goal disallowed and they're going to score another 4. Don't be doing that against Burnley at 0-0 for that to be the only goal of the game, because that's not viable. Got to be defending these corners a bit better. There, Norwich, disappointing one there. And again, right-hand side, slid through, then slid across the box. And how many times, well, I'm not even going to say how many times have we seen Raheem Sterling score that goal. I'll say how many times this season will Raheem Sterling score that goal. Incredible movement. Gabriel Jesus squares it across and he sticks it in the net. I think Mumba, the Norwich City left-back, got sold a bit down the river, being substituted into this game with the Man City right side playing the way they were. And there's another one, and poor old Mumba, I think he's tried to push up and play offside there. You can see him way out of the picture. And in steps Riyad Mahrez, 5-0. Anyway, let's not dwell on the analysis, more on the context for Norwich. That's more important. I mean, look, it's a pasting, isn't it? And regardless of what Man City did, Norwich, 1 shot, no shots on target, 0.11 on the XG is very, very low, which kind of tells you they were unlikely to win the game. I'm sure expectations weren't that, but yeah, 16 shots, 67% possession, 3 big chances to 0. It is what it is. But look, let's talk about the context for Norwich, because it's very easy to jump on the bandwagon of 0 goals and 8 conceded. It's not really worth doing, is it? What's worth doing is, right, move on from here now. 2 teams gone. Man City away is done. Liverpool at home is done. It hasn't gone well. But if you're a Norwich fan and you've got a grain of optimism and balance, if now the confidence or the momentum is not affected by these 2 results, then park it, move on. Rasica bedding in. Giannoulis at left back. I know he was there last season, but just signed full time, hasn't he? Gilmore bedding in, etc., etc. Build going forward. Start now, if you know what I mean. And look, if we're sat here in another 5 games and haven't scored any goals, then yeah, it starts to get very, very worrying. But I think without being a Norwich apologist here, or a dearly departed absolutist that wants these teams to do as well as they possibly can, which I am. I do admit that. I want them to do well for the success of this show, frankly. If I'm not doing that, then it does start to get worrying, doesn't it? But I think with a grain of optimism and a grain of balance, I think as a Norwich fan, you can say upwards from here, and some points, some goals, some draws and wins are going to be coming. I think it's Leicester next, isn't it? Well, we'll look at that in a sec. But, let me know what you think as if you are a Norwich fan and where you kind of stand on it, and how you see it after 2 games. And hopefully it doesn't affect confidence or momentum and they can fresh start. And again, I'll say it, promoted teams are going to lose a load of games, and it's how you react. I remember Chris Wilder saying that 2 seasons ago when his opinion was perhaps a bit more highly valued as he was finishing 9th. It's how you react to losing the games and not getting in the rut. But I do not want to see a couple of the goals we've seen already, where Firmino came on and Gilmour didn't track him, and that corner need to cut that out. We saw it for Watford as well, the free header from the set play and all of that going in the goal. Let's hope that our promoted sides, the dearly departed sides, do become a bit harder to score against in that respect. Let me know what you think. Man City 5, Norwich 0. Right, let's have a look at the table. Well done, Brentford, who are our leaders. Again, they may not stay as our dearly departed leaders, but they're at the moment in 8th position there with 4 points. No goals conceded. Look, defeats are going to come for Brentford, but we've said it many, many times. Ride that 4 points from 2 games. Brentford now know that if they get 1 point from the next 3 games, they are still at a point per game after 5 games. Just surf it. The water will rise. Try and stay above it is what we've learned. And we saw Potter at Brighton and Bruce at Newcastle and Dyche at Burnley and Hodgson at Palace all do that well last year. And then our boys, Fulham and West Brom, couldn't catch them, could they? Aston Villa, bit Jekyll and Hyde, really. A win 1 week, a defeat on the first week. I think it's work in progress, isn't it? And we'll know more about Villa when, as we said, Bailey settles in, Watkins. How are they going to use Buendia? What does this season's team look like? But they're halfway up. It's a good place to start, isn't it? Watford, again, on 3 points and just below Villa. And I'll say exactly what I said about Brentford. Ride it out. I hope they're not as reliant as they were on home form as they were last season. Look, they got 90 points in 91 or something in the Championship in the end. I don't want away to be a write-off for Watford. Leeds, only 1 point so far. You'd suspect the trajectory will move like that as we go. Haven't quite settled into the season yet, but the bar is high for Leeds and we expect them to be much higher than 15th where they are currently. And yeah, Norwich we've spoken about at length there. On the bottom, and yeah, things start now, and let's hope confidence isn't knocked, momentum isn't permanently ruined for the next 36 games, and things can pick up for them there, Canaries. There's the next round, and look at that, a dearly departed derby, the Dean Smith, Ollie Watkins, Ezri Konsa derby there, Aston Villa versus Brentford. That looks a fun one. Norwich versus Leicester. Norwich fans will be annoyed again to see Leicester got a bit pasted yesterday by West Ham, didn't they? So hopefully Norwich don't bear the brunt of that reaction like they did after Man City lost to Spurs. Burnley versus Leeds. You'd expect Leeds to have a lot of possession in that game, so hopefully they can create some chances to score some goals. Tottenham versus Watford. They are away again. Could have done with a home game this round, couldn't they? Watford, and Nuno has won both. Hasn't he so far for Spurs? Yes, indeed he has, and also hasn't conceded a goal. So tricky one there for Watford. Right, let me know what you think in the comments. That was our dearly departed round 2 review. We want to hear from you fans of Leeds, Villa, Norwich, Watford and Brentford. Still, we're 2 rounds in. Cause for optimism for all teams so far. that tends to drain after sort of 5 to 10 games if results are not coming. We just don't want to see that bottom three like it was filled with our teams as it was last season with Sheffield United, West Brom and Fulham basically in there for the longest time, weren't they? And we were just trying to get some momentum through the season. Let's hope it comes nice and quickly. Get involved in the comments. Get involved over on Patreon like Jay Coyle has. Thank you to him. Dilly Departed, also known as Ben Can Best Loser. Just a big thank you to the subscribers. Lots of congratulations about Enid being born about 10 days ago now. I'm probably still looking very, very tired. My apologies. I'll look better in about 3 months, hopefully. Thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday. That was great. And we've been nominated for the Football Content Awards. I'm in a category with like Arsenal Fan TV and some pretty big hitters in there. So thank you everybody for the votes and the good wishes. We may not be able to touch their levels of engagement on those channels, but we got a great subscriber base who've made some lovely comments. So do feel free to go ahead and vote there. And we will be back with Dearly Departed next week. Hopefully a bit sooner in the week before Tuesday. Most important thing though is your interaction. Remember, I'm so invested in Championship. I really rely on Leeds fans, Villa fans, Watford, Norwich, Brentford fans. Keep me updated. You're back in the grounds. You're there every week. Keep that level of knowledge and debate high in the comments for us so we can have the best show and the best comment thread we can underneath the videos. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm off to take baby Enid to see her great-grandmother, which is always good fun. So we will see you very, very soon. Fill the comments. Big over and out from me. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.